Hello, we are Group Connected, and I will be talking about our adaptive learning tool called Math Skill Enhancing Tool. The creators of this tool is Randy Rashid, Kwang-Ming Cheng, Robert Stratznik, and Sujin Balachandran. We believe everyone has talent in mathematics. The purpose of this learning tool is to guide students back on track with their math skills and to inspire students to gain interest in learning math. Math is a language, math is fun to learn, math is the foundation of technology. We have our three learning objectives here, which are all measurable. At the end of using this tool, the user will be able to calculate the probability of something happening. The user will be able to define the terms and theory of probability. The user will be able to apply concepts to real-life situations. If you hit the login button, you can log in. This is our little login screen. You'll be able to put in your username. In this case, we have student underscore 001 as our username, as our user, and the password is here in asterisk. You'll hit enter to log in, and then you come to your main menu. At the top right-hand corner, you can see username, the user that's logged in. You have your profile logo button. You have your main test category grade buttons, and your begin button to begin your assessment. If you hit the profile button, you'll be able to get a brief description of yourself and your final test result. You're able to use the help button here to talk to anybody or the professor or teacher controlling the tool for any problems that you may be having. If you go to the test button, this is where you actually begin your assessment and your actual test. You'll be able to hit continue or help again to contact the professor or anybody running the tool. And you'll be able to start the questions and begin. Then you have your category button. The category button gives you the categories that are built into the tool that you can learn from. In this, there is probability, algebra, geometry, and differentiation. So if you don't want to go through the adaptive feature of the tool, you'll be able to just go through these four categories to learn more without going through the adaptive feature. And then here we have a grade section where if you hit the grade button, it'll show the dates of all the quizzes and assignments that you completed and the grade you've received for them. So assuming you hit continue here, you'll move on to your first question. This is a question, it's a probability question, and up in the top right hand corner of the question section you have a play button. The play button represents an auditory sample of the question that you'll be answering. So it will be an auditory sample that says Greg ate 6/8 of a pizza. What is the remainder? So that the user, if they want to get that kind of voice, they want to listen to what they say, or they learn best listening, then they can hit that button to get a vocal. Then you would hit submit and continue to go on to the next question. And here is another question in algebra. Again, you have your buttons there. Then you'll hit submit and continue for the other button after you're satisfied with your answer, and you'll move on to another question. Again, the bolded words will have definitions. We have it listed on a slide further down, but we haven't done it for all the slides because then it would be many slides, and it'd be too hard to get it all included. But here we have acute angled, which will show a definition of that. How many integers? We'll have a definition of an integer, and it'll pop up as well if you hover over. So then you go to submit and continue. Then you have another question, and then you're finally complete. So you've done all four questions. The tool will start adapting. So now what it means by adapting is that it's good to adjust to where you need help from what your answers were. So if you had certain questions wrong, certain questions right, it will adapt and give you material that you need to complete or you should complete to fix those areas that you needed help in. So now here you get your test result. Test result is 40%. Categories which need improvement is algebra, probability, geometry, and differentiation. So you could save and exit at any time, or you can continue by just clicking continue. So if you hit continue, you have your tutorial. So now you can select which category you want to move into. So for this example, we've used probability. So you say you hit probability, then you'll move into probability tutorials. So there it is. It says theory, video, experiment, games, quiz. The order is very important that we've laid it out. We want to build on top of each one. So you want to move from theory to video to experiment to games. But we didn't want to lock the user into going into those categories in a certain order, just in case they wanted to do maybe the theory, maybe do the game after. So, but it's essential. It's a good way to use this tool is to start with theory, video, experiment, games because they build upon each other. And here's an example of the pop-up button you'll have, say for event. It's if you hover over it for long enough, it'd say an event is one or more outcomes of an experiment. And then you have a brief description or definition of probability. And then again, you have your auditory symbol here if you want to hear a vocal or listen to it. Then if you hit video, you have multiple videos that you can pick. We've only set up 2, and they are here, 20 and 21. So tutorial 1 is a dice example, and tutorial 2 is a coin example. Since we're on the probability section, they're all based on probability, both the videos. This one here is more based on outcomes, how many outcomes can you get, and the other one is similar, showing the probability of flipping a coin. Then we have our experiment. So here we give a brief description of flipping a coin. So it has 2 sides. It has a 50% chance of landing on the head side and 50% chance landing on the tail side. And then it says kind of the directions of how to use the experiment or do the experiment is you will learn how the outcomes and probabilities change as you conduct this experiment. Recording your results will lead to a better understanding. So this tool here, this experiment, what you do is you type in, say, 10 tosses or flipping of a coin, and then you hit the button toss them up. And what happens is in the box here, it will show a random set of heads and tails. So say you put 10 numbers in this box here, and you hit toss them up. It'll say, you know, heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, up to 10. And from there, you could kind of understand the probability part. So that's why we ask the user to record their results for better understanding, because at this point they will know that, you know, a coin has 2 sides, a 50% chance for each side, and they can see. So say you had heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails. So 5 heads, 5 tails. Then it's a 50% chance that it lands on heads, and 50% chance it lands on tails. And then again, you have your auditory voice sample. And here we go. So then you have your game. The game is actually very graphical. It's a modern game. The questions that are asked are very simple, but they do get harder as you move on. So some of the questions in the game are as such as, say there's 5 guys in the race. If the guy with glasses, what is his chance of winning the race? And of course, it's 1 out of 5 because there's 5 guys and he's 1 guy. So there's questions like that. The answer would have been 1 out of 5. And then it gets more difficult where you know, you have to, there's more going on and you have to answer the questions. So that's why we have this listed here, this game. So you'll just click here, click on the game, and it'll take you to the web page where the game is actually playing, where you can play the actual game. And then here you have the actual quiz. So now that you've gone through all 4, you can take the quiz. So here it says the quiz is to test your understanding. You could take the quiz anytime to check your math level on probability. It says the number of attempts is 1. It's because you did the earlier attempt. Your last attempt was on whatever date, your best result, and then you can hit start to begin the quiz again. So then here you go, it tells you the instructions. You have your help button and your auditory button as well. Then you hit continue and you move on to your first question. And then you have some questions based on dice, where what is based, the dice question are based on the learning material that you've learned in the sections above, in the other sections related to the tutorials. So then you have here the sides of a die just to help the user to, you know, kind of make the connection. So you have 2, then you have another question. As you select an answer, you submit and continue. So that question is submitted, and then you can move on. Then you have some questions related to flipping a coin, because the experiment and one of the videos was based on flipping a coin. So then you have that question there, again with the help button and the auditory button. We've kept it one question per slide, just to keep everything nicely segmented, not too much going on in the slide. So that's the reason why we've kept it the layout like that. I think it keeps the things a lot cleaner, and the focus is more specific to the one question that's on the screen too. So after you've done the 4 questions, you get your results. So quiz results 80%, good job. You have completed your assessment, press continue. So there you have it. Then it says that you got 80%, your last attempt, and then finally you'll move on and you can print your certificate. In the case that you get a lower percentage, what will happen is that again it will adapt and it'll give you more specific material that you need to work on. So for say example, you know probability fairly well, but you're lacking and you know algebra pretty well, but you need a lot of help in differentiation. Then the tool will adapt and give you material based on differentiation mostly, so that you know you can learn more and you can build upon there and move on. But for this example, we just went with one kind of category of how you get from the beginning to the end, and that's why it has stopped here. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let us know, and maybe it can help us enhance the tool further. Thank you.